Let's forward to the 21st century.
They have already done it. John,
Look at Russia and Ukraine. It's like ethnic cleansing. It's the very same. Rape and plunder.
1155.
Exactly.
And
It's
you
the same
spoke to
principle.
John Flanagan here the last
I
day.
did, yes.
And they have written to Pope Francis now.
Yes.
I wrote to him and he ignored the IRB and they don't want to talk about that. And Queen was left in Dublin at the time at the Garden of Remembrance.
Yes.
When she was supposed to say that she and the British government had recognised the 1918 32 county election, which we're talking about.
That's right.
And it never went through because the Vatican were the ones who put the kibosh, as they say, on it.
Well, of course.
But it's there.
It's not any wonder.
And here we go, the Declaration of Independence, first All Ireland, Dáil Éireann, January the 21st. Now, I didn't write this now, just in case order to. Whereas the Irish people is by right a free people, right?
Yeah.
That's crucial. And whereas, the threshold of a new era in history,
Yes.
the Irish electorate had the general election of December 1918 seized the first occasion to declare by an overwhelming majority its firm allegiance to the Irish Republic. I have quoted for you the 14th of December 1918,
Yes.
the 28th of December 1918, and that is where it comes from. I've done that about the difference of the. I think that's a disgrace what the GA have done.
Well, they need to be actually tackled on that.
The IRB set it up, and John Francis Maguire, the Corky Sabbath, he sent John Wisepower and John McKay to Thurles to make sure it was done in accordance with the law and everything else. Now you have. This is where I find. This is Article 1. Is where I find the census. And that is at variance.
Okay.
That is not. They don't recognise that sovereign country. There's 5 constitutions in Ireland.
Yes.
The only other piece I would mention on that, as I always do, Article 10, the land of Ireland belongs to the citizens of Ireland and to them alone. That's crucial. They might take your house and they might take other things.
But they cannot take that land.
Because you're the sovereign.
Yes.
And that's why. Are you asked to give up your sovereignty? I have to read this now for you as well, because.
But I think while you're doing that, I think it's very important for
I was
people
only
to
to
realise
you read this, huh?
that fine is illegal if it's imposed on people.
It is.
If you refuse for any conscientious reason to actually to refuse to complete that form, you should not be fined up to 44,000.
No, you shouldn't. And they shouldn't have the right.
That is an absolute disgrace.
They should not have the right to put that on your title deeds. And that's what they will do.
It's an abhorrence. So I think that with the great lawyers that we have in this country, senior counsel, barristers, solicitors, get on your bike, lads, men and women, and start to look at this law, because that is a disgrace. It needs to be changed.
That is a disgrace. And you won't know it until maybe the person dies in that household.
And then you'll find it.
Or you want to sell your house.
There's a lien on your property deeds.
There's a lien on your property.
Lads, be very careful out there. Now, just to conclude, you're going to...
I want to, just before you conclude now.
Yeah.
And this is my letter to the Right Honourable Boris Johnson,
MP,
yes. The Prime Minister's 10 Downing Street, London, S.W. And dear Prime Minister, and I'll go down the Irish as the new Prime Minister. But and I want to say, only the sovereign Dáil Éireann, democratically elected government by the will and wishes of all the sovereign people of Ireland, in the 1918 32 county All-Ireland election, called by the British government on the 4th of December 1918, the Irish and Fenian Republican Brotherhood, and in brackets IRB Sinn Féin, that's what they were, won 73 seats on the 28th of December 1918. The Democratic Unionist Party won 25 seats. The Nationalist Party won 6 seats. The Independent Party won 1 seat out of a total of 105 seats. The Irish and Fenian Republican Brotherhood, IRB in bracket, still hold that mandate today, and ratified on the 21st of the 1st, 1919, in the Mansion House, Dublin, and GHQ Vaughan's Hotel, Dublin, by the sovereign Dáil Éireann government of the Sovereign Republic of Éire, all 32 counties. And isn't that it? And he had to change that border down the Irish Sea.
Yes.
Because that's what it was legally. If he did that, it wouldn't be legal. And they know.
They damn well know.
And they know what they're doing. And now, isn't the consequence of all that is that Britain are patrolling our borders, our borders, down the Irish Sea, and patrolling all our territory out to the United States and Canada.
Right.
And that's all Britain ever wanted, to control
the
whole
empire.
thing.
The empire.
And the Irish people, we have the largest territory in Europe, and the poorest people, and we have a sovereign people. How many other countries in Europe?
Well, you said it, and I have been picked up on using the word famine. I've been told it was genocide.
Famine is a cod.
It's a cod. It is a cod, actually. Because
that is more propagandalized.
Propaganda.
But anyway, look at our proclamation. And there's a little bit. I will just for Thursday night, which will be read on Easter Monday. All over the country.
Thank
and
God.
A lot of it was tradition after Mass on Easter Sunday.
Yes.
To read the proclamation and go out and honour those people. The Irish and Irish volunteers.
Yeah, if we claim to be Irish Republican citizens, every man, woman, and child should be doing that. We should be honouring our forefathers.
I'm going down to Askeaton on Easter Monday at 12 noon.
Yes.
To the beautiful Garden of Remembrance, which you read last year.
It was beautiful there. Absolutely.
And I'm going to bring. I'll get some. I hope that will be Kevin Sheehan.
I hope so too. I'm sure he will.
Read it.
Yes.
And the others will read the Sovereign Constitution, the first page.
I think that would be marvellous in the Garden of Remembrance.
And then the others will read the Declaration of Independence and the Address to the Free Nation. I might also, they're the documents that will be read.
Yeah.
And that's I've always been read.
Great.
You know, it's just the 21st of January 1920.
Well, I look forward to being with all of you great people then.
Well, I think this is important.
I think it is very important.
And you talked about, I mean, they have a garden of a beautiful garden.
It is absolutely splendid in Askeaton.
But they're not using it. I mean, to be shocked that nobody went. Anthony Fairjuice to Anthony last year, he made a proclamation.
Isn't he marvellous? Yes, a lovely man.
Great. And I talked to him the other day. Here we are. Articles of Agreement as signed on December the 6th, 1921. Ireland should have the same constitutional status in the community of nations known as the British Empire, as a Dominion of Canada, Commonwealth of Australia, Dominion of New Zealand, and the Union of South Africa, with a Parliament having powers to make laws for peace, order and good government of Ireland, and an executive responsible to that Parliament, and shall be styled and known as the Irish Free State. Here you are, the 6th of December 1921.
There we are.
How can anyone?
You can't dispute that.
You can't dispute that.
No.
Who gave them the sovereignty? Britain didn't have sovereignty.
No, it's right.
And we have the thing there from General de Gaulle.
Yes.
They executed one of his ancestors, William of Orange, in Northern Ireland. And look, there you are. The subject to the hereafter set out the position of the Irish in relation to Imperial Parliament and Government, and otherwise shall be that of the Dominion of Canada, the law, practice, country, usage, government in relation to the Crown and representative of the Crown, and the Imperial Parliament of the Dominion of Canada shall govern the relations of the Irish Free State. Look, it is there in black and white, and why, look, King George V, look, there you are. There he is, his heirs and successors by law, and will be faithful. The solemn swear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the Irish State by law established, and that I will be faithful to H.M. King George V, his heirs, as I said, by law. Is this what is coming on again? This is what it is.
It is, exactly.
You know, there is no peace or and that let's scrap that.
There isn't.
Let's scrap that. And look, the point about sovereignty is you go into another country and you respect that country's state, the sovereign state, the sovereign government, the sovereign law, the courts, and the sovereign people, and their sovereign assets. That's not what Britain did. They went in and they robbed and plundered the world for their empire.
But that's it. And this
and
is...
they enslaved our people here.
Of course.
And they don't want that mentioned. I want that mentioned now.
Yes, of
and
course.
Look, we don't want any violence.
No, but it
we
has
just
to
want
be...
accountability.
It has to be accountable. And God knows we need accountability in this country in many other ways.
As well. Now, I think I have I done all the documents and things?
You have, and I just want to finish on this note. What you have said there is so important about the British imperial attitude. Take everything. Russia is doing
that document up in BillyMcGuire.com.
But yeah, exactly. But Russia is doing the very same.
There for the people.
Russia is doing the same to the Ukraine, enslaving the people, demolishing it, taking what they want to make up their own empire. It's the same thing in the.
It was the very same in 1155.
And the other thing is, I had the pleasure and honour of talking to two Ukrainian people in Newcastle West there last week, Andrei and also Irina, and they went through the history of what Russia was called then Moscovia, and they talked about Ukraine and the annexation of it, the history of it, and it's all repeating again, and it parallels with what you were saying, Billy, is happening again.
Again, and this will happen. Aren't they enslaving Irish people at the moment?
Yes.
I told you I bought a bag of nuts for my horse.
Yes.
And he's 39 years of age. He's very old and his teeth are worn.
Yeah.
He's an old Galleon cob.
Beautiful.
And he's a driving horse. And the last bag I bought of is beet pulp nuts, and I put them into water and they swell up and they're lovely and soft.
Lovely.
And there's molasses in it and he loves it. So I put his bit of oats and other things in.
Lovely, fantastic.
The last bag I bought was €5.
Yeah.
Today I bought another bag when I was coming back from Newcastle. I went to the co-op I had to give €14.
There you are.
For the same bag.
For the same bag.
14,
but you see,
gone from that. I mean, that's it.
This is the problem now, that people in this country won't be able to buy food, or it's going to be rationed, like the oil and everything else.
They'll be back to that again.
And we are heading back that way. There are people out there that are unable to pay their bills, and this is going back to the recession.
Trying to rear families.
It's impossible.
There must be.
They're
being screwed. Where is this now?
No, that's lovely actually. I have the full. Just keep it there. That's excellent.
That's the sovereign dollar by the will and wish of all the people of the 1918-32 county election.
Very good.
And and look, that's the sovereign seal of Dáil.
Correct. We have
that's
it there.
The sovereign Republic of Ireland. There are the dates on it there.
The 21st of January 1919.
Yeah.
The sovereign Dáil government. Which was formed. Actually, this is very important. Which was formed from the 32 county election of 1918, organised from the GHQ Vaughan's Hotel, Dublin.
That's 29 Parnell Square in Granby Road, if anyone wants it.
There we are.
And look, that's the mention. Dáil never sat in Leinster House.
I see.
It was that was bought to partition Ireland.
Yes.
On the 6th of December. I read it out for you there.
You did.
And Michael Collins went down. Now he was blackguarded. We did that in the last programme.
We did.
About De Valera and that sovereign constitution I read out. You cannot bring that before an electorate or Dáil, and he was forced to bring that in. He was told that he had an illegitimate child.
Yeah, of course they
used I think that's shocking.
They used conquer, or what was it? Divide and conquer. They did it. Billy, thank you so much indeed. We'll be talking to you again Easter Monday in the Garden of Remembrance in Askeaton, and I'm sure everybody will be welcome there.
And Fionn,
yes.
He's doing Limerick. He's doing
Marvellous.
Bridge.
Great friend of ours.
A lovely young fellow.
Absolutely brilliant.
And he is going to read the proclamation, the Sovereign Constitution, Declaration of Independence.
Yes.
And we have Easter lilies.
Marvellous.
I have them growing down in the tunnel.
I'm sure everything grows here.
And I hope to have a couple for
lovely.
Askeaton.
Fantastic.
And I have shamrock as well.
Yes.
That I'll have as well to plant down in Askeaton in that beautiful garden of remembrance.
It is beautiful.
You were there last year. How many hits did you say you got?
Oh, thousands. It went all over America, Spain, Portugal, England,
but it's
Ireland.
Very important for America's sovereignty as well. Where did the sovereignty?
And I want to say a very special thank you to the huge support that we have in the east and west coast of America. People are picking up these programs. They love it because of your clarity, your focus, your knowledge, and people are admiring you, Billy, for that. And it certainly has catapulted the What Matters program into an international stage. And I'm thankful to the people who supported me that have made it this way, particularly for the if we get recognised in the international award scheme in the autumn of 2022.
That'd be great. Well, great, Frasky. I only do these things for the people. I have nobody. There's look, and I have 3 horses, and that's it.
Aren't you blessed?
Huh?
You're blessed. Look at the beautiful town and the capital that you live in.
Because I hate to see the slavery and the blackguard that was in place. And are they going to enslave their own people?
Well, the only thing that I'm going to say to that right now, Billy, is I think in the 21st century, with the conflicts that are now emerging all over the world, including the present war in Ukraine, Russia, I think we're entering an era where there will be another form of enslavement.
That's what it is.
And actually poverty, which is now emerging. And I'll tell you something, unless the people of this planet rise up and save the planet from the plundering of the greedy few, we will have no planet for the next generation to come.
And look, the sovereign dollar government doesn't owe any money and there's no debt.
Correct.
And why are people in such terrible circumstances?
I'll tell you something before I finish, and you have to be commended for this. People are talking about your interviews and what you are saying. So, Billy, well done, and we'll leave it at that. And we'll be talking
you're very welcome,
again.
and I thank all those people for bothering to listen.
They do listen because they're very interested. We know the propaganda that goes out from stations across the country and community radio stations and all the propaganda that they talk.
Listening in, but I get telephone calls, you know, and asking me questions about.
Of course, because you see, you're raising important issues that are to do with the identity of people, you know.
Well,
and
that's
that is
the
essential.
document now, and that's it.
There we are. Yep. So that's.
Is that a fraudulent document?
Well, we leave that up to and we'll get hopefully some solicitors and barristers that will come back to
We'll
us.
have to read that
Well,
document.
he has to.
And I would love to see what he wrote in his one.
Correct.
You know, and there'll be, I told you, I showed you there, but I'll be doing there the sovereign. It will be the sovereign constitution of the 1918-32 Constitution.
Billy,
established all that.
I'll tell you something. You're some man. God bless you. Go to meal about it. Talk to you Easter Monday.